man. Here we go. Now, when I say how did the band come together, you weren't there right at the very start, were you?
I was not, no.
So 2009, Costa Mesa, these two guys come together, and then what happens from there, to your recollection?
From my understanding, the band was then sort of assembled from a both a label side, but also from a management side from a company called Artery Foundation,
Yeah.
from various other bands that were either dissolving or maybe close to, or just people that wanted to maybe start a new project. Um, and then from there, it's so funny because it's like I wasn't there, so I'm trying to retell the history the best that I know it.
Yeah.
From there, one of the singers leaves, is replaced by another guy temporarily, um, and then bass player ends up leaving after that. Guitar player who sang went to bass.
Yeah.
Alan then joins the band for the Flood,
Yeah.
and then after that record, guy who's on bass singing leaves the band, and then that's when I joined the band, is
Uh-huh.
for Restoring Force in 20.
10.
I joined in 2012
2012. Okay.
on, yeah, 2012 in like
Oh,
summertime.
Tino was pretty much near the start.
Oh yeah, no, Tino is a day one. He's an original.
He's an original.
He
Okay.
yeah, he was in there from the inception.
And so, are you saying it was something put together by not just the band, but like a an outside management or
No, not
label?
not not put together, but that was sort of, I think, the infrastructure that everybody had in common that allowed everybody to
Okay,
talk
okay.
about this new thing, if
And the
that makes sense.
Steinbeck name,
That comes from, it's funny because it actually comes from the Robert Burns quote, which is the best laid plans of mice and men
of
often go
course,
awry.
of course.
And it's more to do with that quote than it is actually the book, even though the book is about that because of that quote. But it's just basically everybody had come from other bands, myself included,
Yeah, yeah.
that didn't work out the way that we'd intended, or the way that you think when you venture out and start a band, you know. Um,
And how?
Ideally,
Go
you
on.
want to make a record, have it connect, and then we're going to be doing this forever. So it's like when things come to an end and you find yourself in a new project, it's kind of interesting to reflect on that,
Yeah, yeah.
and then conversely, everything about doing music is you find yourself saying that to yourself a lot, because you make a lot of plans when you're
Yeah.
in music, and then a lot of them don't
Well,
happen the way that you
that
assume.
I'm 68, so I'm an old dog. So what I've learned from a conscious perspective is all you can do is just turn up to the moment, and whatever happens happens, because basically everything that you think will happen is just a limiting thing. Thinking is limiting because all it does is it keeps you going in one direction, and really there's lots of directions. So don't think and just keep looking at what takes place. How often do they mix you up with monsters?
Oh, it's happened a couple times. There's been a couple times where people have ended up at our show because they have confused us for monsters and men. There's also been a couple times, it's funny, one of the last times that we were in Germany on our headliner, there was a group of, it was either two couples or three couples. All of them looked to be about in their, I would guess, mid 60s to early 70s. And they came to the gig because they thought it was the play, and they ended up staying the entire time, and actually they said they had a really fun
Fantastic,
time.
as you
But it
do.
was but it was like these, I was impressed because these women were like dressed up. They were dressed up to go to the theater.
Fantastic.
They went to a theater, and they did Sea of Mice and Men,
Too good.
technically.
Too
So
good. Too good.
and they
Too
they
good.
came and stopped and talked to us at the merch booth, and they were
Too
like laughing, and they thought it was hysterical that they ended up there instead of the play.
too good. One other question about the journey a little. You had someone that got sick that left. Is that right? About 6 or 7 years in.
Yeah, so in 2016, yeah.
And how's he?
I'm not sure. I haven't spoken to him in quite a
Oh,
while,
okay.
but
So he hasn't
I
he
think
hasn't carked it.
but he is playing. I think he just started playing shows again or something, but I don't know. It's kind of like a divorce. Even if you don't have ill feelings, you just kind of lose touch.
Yeah, of course, of course. You know, that's I'm never going to, that's a friend thing. We're going to be friends forever, and I'm never going to. And then someone says, "What happened to what's her name? Who is it? Have you got a picture?" Um, okay, in 25 words or less, the journey. It's been for you. It's been 13, 14 years, but is it all good? Was it, we all broke up, or it's all been a progression. Music changes. What if someone said to you, give me a brief description of what's happened in the 14 years, in your 14 years, what would you say?
It's funny because it's kind of like when you're in a band, it's like somebody has a record label or whoever has an outside vested interest in you basically creating, if you create music like we do,
Yeah.
basically creating a yearbook of your life every year and a half to 2 years. So every record is sort of
And
a
that is that an
reflection.
album? Is that what you call an album?
Well, yeah, and it's funny because every record is a collection of songs that were written during a period of time where we use the band as a conduit and an expressive outlet. So it's like all of whatever the four of us are collectively and individually going through in our lives for that time period that we're working on the record ends up making its way into the record. And so every record ends up being different because every period of time is different. It's sort of like when you're a freshman in high school, and then you're a sophomore, and then you're a
Yeah,
junior, and
yeah,
then you're a
yeah.
senior. It's like, it's not only are those years different, but it's like what it means to be each one of those things is different. What it means to be a band on your, I joined the band right before we went in to make the third album. So I
Yeah,
joined right after the release of the second record.
yeah.
And now we're on our ninth. So the next one will be our 10th. And
Yeah.
it's crazy that there's that many songs. It's hard for me to even conceptualize that length of time into 25 words or less. I've
Sure,
said like
sure, sure,
250
sure.
right now,
It wasn't a literal thing. It
yeah.
was more
But
just a descriptive thing. So,
I would say it's more about just the journey. There's an interesting quote, and it is less than 25 words. It's, the man who loves walking will always walk further than the man who loves the destination.
of
And we
course.
love making music. We love the walk. And so we just keep making records because every year or two, somebody says, "Hey, you got a bunch of
Well,
songs?" And we go, "Yeah, here's a bunch of songs." And then that's the record, you know?
how many people in the world get stuck in the event, wait to pay off the mortgage or wait to go on holiday, and they trade their whole year, or they trade 20 or 30 years for that one event to get security at 60 so that I've paid off the house, and they traded away their family life, they traded away their connection to the kids, they traded away anything they call fun just because, they were sold the dreaded drug. Okay,
Totally.
how would you describe your sound? I think Wikipedia have you down for about a dozen genres. And as
Yeah.
for you, harsh vocals and standard singing. I don't even know what standard singing is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that means either. And harsh implies like I'm being unkind to somebody. I don't really like that word either.
Yeah,
That's like
okay.
when people call screams dirty vocals. I'm like, what, dirty is referring to hygiene.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like, I'm
exactly.
not,
Exactly.
I look
It's not
dirty, but
me.
I'm not a dirty guy.
It's not me.
No, no, it's funny. It's very multifaceted because I think we all have very eclectic music tastes. Like we all have very, very broad music tastes where we all like a lot of everything, and we all like figuring out how we can put our individual and collective inspirations and influences into the music.
So
um
everyone writes.
oh yeah.
And that's why they're talking about a dozen genres, I suppose, because
Oh yeah.
everyone wants to put their own taste into something. But I think for the
Totally.
audience, I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
No,
you
because
can go in a
it's all
lot of
different
different directions.
stories.
Yeah,
Every song is a story, and so not all stories are angry, and not all
no,
stories are scary, and not all stories are sad, and not all stories are happy. Like I think it's a good thing to sort of um I mean, it's not just a good thing. I think it's an imperative to not limit yourself
Yeah,
before
yeah,
expressing yourself, because like when you limit yourself before expressing yourself, that's called repression, and that
yes,
like is
yes,
a
yes,
that's a
yes.
bad thing for your health and for
Yeah,
your well-being. They
yeah.
say don't repress your emotions. That's what they say. And so it's like um the brain can often just confuse the heart, and so a lot of what music is just your heart, and so you can just kind of turn
And
that part off.
as you were saying, there's so many changes throughout the course of a 20-year career, 30-year career, whatever it is, that, obviously you're going to make different music along the way. Technology changes, everyone goes through different periods, etc. And I think that, when you come out like you're coming out, we'll talk about that, but you can pull out the best of from all of those different eras and, play different genres, and everyone can have a sumptuous feast rather than, just keep beating their head to the same sort of tone.
Oh, totally. And the same way that songs and albums are like yearbooks to us,
Absolutely,
they're also yearbooks to the fans. So being able
absolutely.
to do that means that, as we play a concert and we sort of bust out, almost 20 years worth of music, our audience sort of gets to relive those moments. And it's a huge honor that anybody would let us into their life enough to where maybe one of our songs is a staple and
Yeah.
reminds them of a time in their life that they get to reminisce about. Like it's a cool thing to be a part of. Because
In
for
the
us, we're all music fans. Like that's why we all did
yeah,
this, was
yeah.
because we all fell in love with it.
In the influence age, authenticity is king. So, if you can turn up and just do what you do and say, this is us this time, and everyone says cool, then I think that's going to be a popular thing, even if you're not trying to be popular. Okay,
Totally.
another miracle come out late last year. Yeah, the ninth you were talking about. That's the
Yep.
latest music, I presume.
Yep.
Okay, give
Well,
us a,
actually, no, there is. Well, it's the latest that fans can hear, but there is new music that we're working on already in the Dropbox.
album or
No, just songs for now. Like we're
okay,
we're probably still like a year out from
next
dropping
album.
anything, but we are always writing, just because it's
All right.
I don't
Well,
know.
tell us just for the people listening, tell us something about that. I'd say being the latest music, and obviously you've got the tour coming up in May, so you're going to be performing something on tour. Is it going to be that album or a compilation of a whole heap of stuff? What have you
Oh yeah,
decided?
it's gonna be on the tour. It's gonna be a lot of old stuff, a lot of the new record. Um, yeah, it's just a whole span. It's funny because it's kind of like it's weird to say. It's like it's almost as a joke. It's a greatest hits set, but it like in a lot of ways it is. I think we're playing like I don't know, well over a dozen songs. I think it's like 15 or something, but don't quote me on that in case it's less.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's
yeah,
like no, but it's crazy. It's like a good 75, 80 minutes, 90 minutes worth of music that basically spans from the first record through this current record. Not all linearly. It kind of jumps around, but
it
see,
must.
I never know what to tell people of what to expect, because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never know really what to expect. I have a set list,
yeah.
but I'm not the person that like pre-planned speeches or like knows what I'm going to say in between songs. It's a lot of very just off the cuff and like a lot of very like direct connection with the audience. So it's like I don't like planning things. So even I don't know what's going to happen. Anything could happen.
How do I often think we send a lot of photographers everywhere, and they've got to shoot something without control, and they've got to get it in the moment, all that sort of stuff. Being the singer, you're on tour, so the instrument has to work, and so you
Yeah.
can't sort of say, "I'm coming back next week. Let's take a week off. Let's come back next month." You've got to
No.
turn up there and perform, and I think. It's 5 dates, I think, around the country, but still, you can't really go out and have a bender because
No.
you got to turn up and is that a pressure that the other guys don't have to carry?
Oh, totally. It's like it's no fun at all being the singer. Unless
Exactly.
unless unless you're somebody that really likes the perks of like people being willing to go above an extra for you, but I'm not that dude. Like
Yeah,
I love my team and I like to be a servant to my team. I'm not the dude that like looks to be served all the time.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
it's no, and it's a lot of stress because you don't always control your health and your illness and your instrument as a, as a byproduct. So, but you just do everything you can and you
But
just be
I,
reasonable. And then when it comes time to get on stage, I will give 100% of what I've got, even if that 100% is only 60.
yeah, well,
I
but
will, I will give it.
I often think about Sinatra, and he went on to one of his concerts when he was 70 something or other, and he forgot the words or whatever, and
Oh,
they started singing back, and he said, "Don't
I,
worry, Frank, we've got you." And I think to myself, how much of their listening is, the record that they listen to on in the car on the way in, and the actual listening. If you
oh
sang
yeah.
off key, would they hear what they believe they're thinking, or would they hear what they actually hear? It must be.
I think it's a total amalgamation. And I
Yeah,
think also me as the performer, I don't always know what the audience is hearing or how they're hearing it. There's been times where I've been convinced that I have just blown a show because I've been like, oh, my voice was cracking all over the place and I just couldn't seem to hold a note and I thought I was pitchy. And then I go back and I watch videos and none of those things
it was
happened.
awesome.
But I will be 100% convinced that like the show was bad and blew it. Now I don't do that anymore. Like now I'm just like basically I judge the show by if at the very end people are clapping and they're smiling. If more people are smiling than they are upset, then I've done my job.
I think again, in keeping with what you were talking about before, journey rather than destination, you're not going to have good shows every time. So you've got to turn up and say, I am what I am, and that's a very subjective
Yep.
sort of process as well. And you're going to
Just
play
like Popeye.
different rooms, different acoustics, different lights, different all sorts of stuff. Right? Storm before. All sorts of things can happen just on any given time. Or if you're playing Ukraine or Gaza, the wrong week. I don't know that many people play Gaza actually, but
No.
it's a terrible thing. All right, let's have some a couple of stupid questions. If you can perform with any music artist alive or dead, who would you choose?
Ooh,
Like you're performing up there.
that's really really difficult. Maybe Queen, like peak Queen.
Yeah, yeah, like what Live Aid, half mic in front of those 100,000 fans. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Radio Gaga.
Oh totally.
That's a pretty cool sort of situation. All right, what's the best thing about performing to a live audience?
Just the connection. Because music, music is the universal language is a cliche, but it's true because music is a language and language is how you communicate. So
Yeah, yeah,
it's that conversation that occurs when you're sharing music to a live audience and they're responding with their energy. Like it's just a whole, I call it a conversation. It's like a whole exchange. And I love that.
yeah. I created an image one time about 10 years ago that they didn't want me to use because it was this girl and she was hunched over and she had, the wrap around as if she was taking heroin, except she was putting a 3.5 jack into her arm. And, music was her drug. And
Oh yeah.
they thought it was a little bit too, but I agree. Music is a drug for all of us. Um, any long-term aspirations you still haven't filled?
Mm, that's so hard. I feel like the older I get, the less I try and have
Long-term aspirations.
expectations.
Yeah.
Yeah, expectations and aspirations. And just like I try and be more present now. Because I feel like I spent my whole 20s basically like aspiring to be more and do more. And then I'm in my 30s and I'm like, damn, I should have just been like enjoying the things I was doing more. Because now in my 30s, I look back at my 20s thinking like, well, I actually had a lot going on. And like, comparatively, because now I'm a dad and things have slowed down and the band gets older and, your you spend a lot of the golden years looking forward to the golden years and then you don't realize until you're out of them that that might have been them, like
That's
it's
another
just
conversation, AP. I'll do that because I'm going to start a
totally.
podcast and talk about consciousness because I've got a view about this process that's
Oh, we have to.
Right,
I'm
right
I'm
from
I'm huge into meditation and into
well,
like the Monroe Institute gateway
do you
like
meditate every
process and all
day?
that.
Do you meditate
Yep.
every day?
I try to.
I
I haven't
meditate
been
every
doing it
day.
much in the 10
I
months, but
meditate every day. Meditation is the most important thing a human can do, in my view, because it connects you
oh,
up to source. And basically,
totally.
all you're trying to do is you're trying to.
Well, that's
It's
where all the
like
music comes from.
that's where everything comes from, not just that. But
I've said it from day one that I don't think I've ever written a song. I just start hearing something in my head. And what I've done is I've worked diligently on my talents to and my skills to try and take what I hear in my head when I hear it and bring it out here into this physical world. But when I hear it in my head, I'm not the person making it, I'm the person hearing it. And I can't be both. So I don't know who's making it when I hear it in my head. I'm making what I hear in my head in real life. But I think songs totally just like randomly pick people and be like, oh, I'll come in
yes.
through you. And it's like, it's the weirdest thing to be a part of. But we'll definitely have to get in on a podcast. I actually have to get going though, because I'm 5 minutes over or 6 minutes over for the next one. But I'm 100% down to get in on the podcast.
Can I just ask you some really quick questions a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Finally, current or all-time favorites, favorite album?
Ooh, favorite album of all time?
Yeah, or now, it doesn't really matter.
My favorite album right now would be James Taylor's Greatest Hits.
Great.
Right now.
Favorite artist?
Ooh, that's really, really, really hard to say.
You can pass.
I think right now it's probably Beatles.
But
my daughter loves the Beatles, and so we've just been watching all the Beatles documentaries and movies and just been on a huge Beatles kick.
Favorite movie? Must be a daughter's movie, something you're watching 100 times probably.
Wally.
Wally. Favorite place to visit?
Probably
Australia, because you're coming here.
Totally. That's an obvious answer.
Favorite venue to play?
It's got to be somewhere in Australia, man.
Of course. All the venues. Favorite
all
food?
The venues.
Favorite food?
Oh, it used to be Pie Face, but now most of them are closed. But there still is a couple. I don't know. I like kebab. I like Mexican food. We get a lot of Mexican food here in burritos and stuff, but we're kind of far from Mexico in Australia. In Australia, I eat. I like coconut water. I'm a big coconut guy.
Well, I think it's a con myself, but that's all right. Favorite person in history apart from me?
My daughter probably.
God, good. That's a good answer. Favorite tattoo? Because I know this is the last question. What's your favorite tattoo?
This one right here on my arm. It says family first.
That's massive. Who did that and when?
Danny Garberis did it, and he did it in 2015, I think, or 16.
That's it, man. Touchdown. We're done.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you so much.
It took so long.
Oh no, it's all good. I'm sure the next folks
and
will
we
understand.
will. Once I get going, I want to sort of make an artist movement and all that, and work from the bottom up rather than the top down, because we live in a top down world. But
here's the thing: there's a lot of people in bands that also do the gateway process and Monroe Institute tapes and meditation and stuff. I think a lot of us are all just kind of looking for that next thing, and it's just something easy to do on tour.
Because your ego, once you've got to the end of your ego, you're looking for something else, and you guys have experienced that fullness of ego. So you're saying, if this is it, there's not enough here.
And it's so vapid and unrewarding.
It is.
Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, I wish that everybody could just hop into my body and my life experience for just a little bit, because you'll realize a lot of the stuff that like society tells you want when you have it isn't really like that rewarding at all. And if anything, it's super draining. But
I appreciate you so much. Been detached. Yeah, go. Good on you, man.
Right, appreciate you.
Have a great tour. Have a great tour.
Hey, thank you. We'll see you.
All the best.